Hello everyone and welcome to Grandstand Sports Data. In today's video, we're going to give you the round one betting preview between the New Jersey Devils and the Carolina Hurricanes. We're going to go over the statistical breakdown, the fundamental breakdown, then we're going to give you our models projections along with some of the betting lines in this series. So let's get right into it. Okay, so let's get into the statistical breakdown between the Devils and the Hurricanes. You can see that they're very close to even here on the win percentage. Both teams have about the same base power rating at .609, and I think that it might be the decimal point that gets New Jersey to number 11 and Carolina to number 12. But you got to remember though, Carolina, they rank higher in SRS with hockeyreference.com. They also rank higher in some of these other numbers like goal differential and even strength goal differential, which is huge. The Devils' even strength goal differential is actually in the negative when you look closely at it, so this is a red flag for playoff hockey. Carolina dominates puck possession and play driving, so this means they're number one in Corsi and in scoring chance percentage. These are both strong indicators of playoff success. Devils, they rank well too, number 8 in both of those categories, but they're getting edged in both major puck control metrics, something to take a look at. Special teams basically split. The Devils' power play is elite at number 3 in the league, but Carolina's penalty kill is the best in the league. Carolina's power play is awful at number 25 in the league, so they aren't likely to exploit penalties, and this is going to neutralize some of New Jersey's discipline issues as well. Goaltending all year long, when you're talking about all the goaltenders, New Jersey was ranked number 11th, where Carolina was ranked 24th. Some of the worst goaltending stat on the slide, and maybe even throughout these series that we touch on. 24th is not the greatest when it comes to team save percentage. Remember, that's team save percentage. Finishing seems to be a problem for both teams. Devils and Canes both rank bottom 5 in finishing rate and the generating chances, but struggling to capitalize. So you can see that down here at the bottom. So teams that don't necessarily finish, and you got some decent goaltending when we move on. So you might be looking at some unders in this series. This is a volume versus efficiency matchup. As you can see, Carolina controls the game with elite possession and defense, while New Jersey leans on dangerous power play and slightly better goaltending. The edge goes to Carolina for controlling the flow, but finishing and goaltending make this one more fragile than it looks on paper. Okay, so let's jump to the fundamentals like coaching, player quality, and goaltending, right? We want to take a deeper look at that in every series. Rod Brindamore for the Carolina Hurricanes, he's won about 51% of his playoff hockey games, so he's tested and respected in those postseason runs. While on the other side, Sheldon Keefe, he won about 43% of his and has underachieved with talent in the past. So that's something to note. Carolina's forward group, when we're talking about them, they drive possession hard. So Aho, Jarvis, even Svechnikov are all over 60% when you're talking about their Corsi 4 percentage, right? So they're going to want to hold that puck. Then Aho translates that to success. He has a plus minus of 21, which is huge. Depth pieces like Jordan Stahl, Martin Nook, they also have positive playoff metrics. New Jersey now has solid possession numbers from Bratt and Meyer, but lacks the same impact level. So flipping back over to Carolina and their defensive core, they're well rounded, right? Slavin and Burns stand out with both strong plus minus and playoff track records. The Devils on the other side, their back end has been a little bit underwhelming, especially when you're talking about Hughes and Hamilton. They're okay, but no dominant force whatsoever. Goaltending leans slightly to the Devils, I would say. Jacob Markstrom, he has that 2.3 gold save above average, and he has a quality start of about 65% of the time going out there and giving you that quality start. Now, Frederick Anderson kind of makes it even, but if anything was to happen to Markstrom, they look like they would have the better backup or service from that bench. Whereas Carolina, they're depending on Anderson when it comes to that goaltending aspect of the game. The bottom line here is that Carolina's top line possession, better coaching, and experienced blue line is going to give them the edge here. But New Jersey's goaltending tandem keeps them in it. So if anything was to happen to their starter, Jake Allen can come in there and be pretty good. If Carolina's offense can't break through early, the longer this series goes, the more dangerous it gets for them. So just take a look at that. Okay, so let's jump to some of the playoff profitable factors that we always touch on here in these series videos. Carolina is going to own the edge here in about 8 out of the 11, even 9 out of the 11. It's hard to tell because of the red and the black. color codes here, but these are not just good stats. They've historically led to winning bets in the playoffs. So some of the top performing ones for Carolina are obviously going to be Corsi, shot differential, scoring chance percentage, and then even strength goal differential. Uh, Devils, on the other hand, they only show profitable in about three spots: power rating, and then also with our model, which we're going to touch on a little bit later. So this is a classic case of stats versus that model. Carolina has playoff proven data across possession, goal differential, special teams, and even volume, where New Jersey comes down to just our model basically in power rating. So maybe it undervalued or found some undervalued market pricing, and that's what made the model, move towards New Jersey. Carolina checks nearly every proven box, so when it comes to historical playoff betting, that's something you look out for. The model sees a contrarian opportunity on New Jersey, but from a handicapping factor standpoint, Carolina is the side aligned with the most profitable trends, and that's something that you need to take a note of. Okay, so let's jump to the money line trends for both of these teams throughout the season. The key takeaway here is that both teams were unprofitable on the money line this season. New Jersey was 42 and 40. They were down $11.04 for every $1 bet. And if you put them in your portfolio, you were down 13.5%. Carolina, on the other hand, was 47 and 35, and they lost you a little less money than New Jersey at down $9.48 for every $1 bet. And in terms of having them in your portfolio, you would be down 11.6%. So, despite winning records, both of these teams underperformed relative to the market. Remember that, relative to the market. Devils had consistently negative returns basically all season long. The graph shows a steady downtrend, so they were consistently overpriced. Short winning runs never overcame that juice or high closing lines. See, there's a huge, they are very, very far away from their team average, which is this red line. It's not too good. Even on the other side of Carolina, Carolina had a midseason peak but collapsed late. So their money line profitability spiked around game 70, but tailed off dramatically. Late season form was not good for bettors, possibly due to inflated prices, and then maybe those playoff seed locks where they rested a few guys. So got to keep in mind of that. From a betting market perspective, though, neither side delivered value this season. Both teams were frequently mispriced as favorites, and the closing stretch was particularly costly for Carolina backers. You're going to want to be cautious laying juice in this series, so value may come from totals, props, or even in underdog spots. You're going to make sure to want to be all over your handicapping skills for this matchup. Now, for the series betting lines and the model prediction, let's take a deeper look here. Some of the key takeaways you should get from this here is the market is heavily behind Carolina. They think Carolina is going to win this at minus 245 price to win the series, but the Devils are the plus 200 as an underdog. So that's a big perceived gap by the sports books. The spread is tight. Carolina at minus 1.5 games at minus 115, while New Jersey is plus 1.5 at minus 105. So the model sees a major upset here. It's predicting 4 games to 2 that the Devils will win. That's a massive clip of 73% of those 10,000 Monte Carlo simulations going in the favor of New Jersey. So the model backs New Jersey on both spread and money line, as you can see from the bottom here. Underdog status plus predictive confidence, that's going to equal strong perceived value. So likely driven by edge and goaltending and special teams projections despite weaker team metrics. The bottom line from this, though, is this is a high value betting spot if you trust the model. At plus 200 with a 73% win projection, New Jersey is the sharp side from a pure numbers standpoint. Remember, pure numbers standpoint. The books are leaning on Carolina's profile, but the model says the price is way off. Me, if you're asking me, I'm staying away from this. I don't know. I'm just a little nervous of both of these teams and their downtrend towards the end of the year to actually make a play on the series. May look at individual games here in the series, but in terms of the series as a whole, I may walk away from this if I'm a sports bettor. So like always, we'd like to thank you guys for watching. We hope that you got some awesome information from this video. Now, don't forget to subscribe to Grandstand Sports Data for more great shows like this one. Also, don't forget to give this video a like, share with your friends, and then leave a comment down below on who you think is going to win the series. That's all for now, and we'll see you guys in the next one.